everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are solving a big and classic challenge, extracting precise and structured data from complex PDFs and automating the entire process into a database. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use this PDF, as you see, highly unstructured, very complex. We're going to use LlamaParse to process the document and extract structured text. We will leverage OpenAI's structured output to define and retrieve precise fields like the address, prices, the dates, the brokers. I will show you how to set up Supabase, create a database table, and use it in the entire workflow. And finally, automate the whole process with N8N, connecting the Supabase database, the OpenAI API, LlamaParse, and everything you need. I will show you how to handle this step by step, apply it to your specific use case, so you can build an entire pipeline to extract all data you need and insert them into your database or CRM. Now you might ask, why not just use a basic retrieval augmented generation setup? Upload a file, vectorize it, and query it. Sounds simple, right? Well, here's the issue. RAG is amazing for tasks like unstructured Q&A. For example, if you have a PDF or Google Doc with mainly text like user questions and answers, an LLM combined with a RAG can retrieve highly relevant context to answer new questions. It's perfect for retrieval-based tasks. But when it comes to extracting specific fields with high accuracy, it starts to fall apart. For these kinds of tasks, we need a proper parsing. So what is parsing? Parsing is the process of analyzing unstructured data and transforming it into structured format that LLMs can understand and manipulate. Think of it like breaking down a complex PDF and dissect it to extract specific fields like names, dates, transaction amounts. It's about understanding the structure and patterns within the data to retrieve exactly what we need with high precision. And by implementing proper parsing techniques, we can automate the extraction process, ensuring that the data fed into our database is both accurate and reliable. For structured documents like invoices or legal documents, this isn't a big deal because they are often consistent. Most solutions out there already have trained models to extract amounts, company names, dates, and other standard fields. And invoices follow a specific format. Now, of course, you might have a different logo, you might have different names, but the silhouette or the structure is very, very similar for invoices. And these solutions now have trained their models on thousands or even millions of invoices, and they can do it pretty accurately now. If you have another type of PDF, let's say a financial document, or in this example, a PDF with listing properties, these solutions quite fail. They are not accurate at extracting the data you need because the PDF, the model didn't see formats before. That's why it fails. Here's an email I got from my client lately. So this is a real project, guys. They have property listing PDFs and need to extract details as stated in here. They need owners, they need listing brokers, the brokerage firm, they need the centrist number and the indicator, and they tried other solutions, but they weren't reliable. Why? Because the PDF's layout was inconsistent. Traditional parsers struggled to identify the fields they wanted to extract, and they couldn't handle the unstructured format. So here's how the PDF looks like. We have here the centrist number the client wants to extract. We have the price, the address here. We have the amount. And what you can see is we have different number of listings for each page. So for example, on this page, we have 2 listings, 1 and 2. this one as well, but I saw one page with more or less listings. In this page we have 3 listings, and in this page we have none. And that's where llamaParse comes in, a tool powered by llamaindex. And llamaParse isn't just another PDF parser. It can handle formats like messy and inconsistent layouts. It's open source and especially designed for LLM applications. We can take a look at this example. We could extract the text and even transform or convert the chart into a table, which is game changer when implementing RAG pipelines. So if you skip the parsing step and just upload this document as it is into your vector database, your LLM won't be able to read the chart, obviously. But if you transform it properly into Markdown format with advanced parsing techniques, you would be able to retrieve any information on the PDF. So that's why parsing is very important when it comes to building reliable RAG pipelines or even transforming unstructured data from PDF into structured data, what we are going to see in this video. Before using the API, let's check out the playground first. Go to get started, start using LlamaParse. So here we can upload our PDF, and here we can adjust the settings and play with the parameters a bit. So LlamaParse offers many options for parsing your document. That's why I recommend always to begin with a playground, upload some PDFs, and see what the output would look like when using one parameter or another. And then when you know exactly what parameters you're gonna use, you can later move to using the API, because all these parameters would be needed then when requesting or when using their API. So here we have few modes. We have a fast mode when your goal is to process documents very fast. We have the accurate mode, and they have different pricings, as you see. So here the fast mode would cost you 1 credit for 3 pages, the accurate one. The premium mode is 15, which could be a bit pricey. And we have other modes. We have also a structured output directly embedded into LlamaParse. But to be honest, I've used this feature a few times, but I found when using LlamaParse really only for parsing and then using an OpenAI model or even Claude to extract the data that I need, I found it much more reliable. But yeah, you can try this out. You can define your JSON schema, put in what you want to extract from the document, and you're good to go. We have parsing extract instructions here, so you can see it kind of as a prompt, just writing what you want to extract from your PDF. We have the text and images handling, so you could use the OCR or skip it. You have really lots of options here, so I recommend you to play with these a bit to find the most optimal parameters for your specific use case. You can also target pages, and here we have a webhook if you are using it in your app, and we have a cache settings also, which could be very handy. So for our example, let's use the accurate mode and see how it performs. Let's click on Parse. So it's uploading the file, and it will give us a job ID back, which we are going also to use in our N8N workflow later on. I will show you how to use it. So it's gonna take a few minutes. So the parsing is complete. Let's take a look at the results. We have the property, we have the price, we have here the address and some text. We have property number 2. So this looks very good. We have even pages in here. page separator. You can also set this up if you want another type of separating the pages. You can find it in page formatting. Yeah, and here you can put your page separators. We have a default value in here, which is the 3 hyphens. We have also the same output but in text, but I found Markdown is better when using NL afterwards. We have also a JSON format. We have the images. Here are the images in our PDF. And these images, you could also build another route in your process for processing the images with another LLM, for example. So you see now how we've been able to successfully parse this highly complex PDF with just few clicks, and we didn't really use the other parameters. Let's jump to Whimsical and map out the whole workflow and make sure we don't forget anything. So first things first, we're gonna use a trigger, which is gonna be watch Google Drive folder. And then after that, we're gonna download the file. We're gonna pass it to LlamaParse using the parameters we just used on the playground. After that, as I showed you on the playground, when passing files to LlamaParse API, we are going to get a job ID back. And with this job ID, we're gonna make another API request to see if the job is complete or not. So here we're gonna check the job status, and then we're gonna grab the content in Markdown format. So here get PDF content in MD format. After that, we are going to pass it to OpenAI structured output. I'm gonna show you how to set this up in N8N, and then we are going to insert to Supabase, pass to Supabase. So here what we need is to define the JSON schema with all the data that we need to extract from the Markdown format. So we need this schema especially for the OpenAI structured output node. And after that, make sure that this schema matches the Supabase table. So for that, we are going to go to ChatGPT and we are going to grab the Markdown format we just got, just an example. So this is only the property one. And we're gonna tell ChatGPT to generate a JSON schema to extract following data points, and just grab the data in here in our customer inquiry. So ChatGPT is gonna generate the JSON. So really simple. Now that we have that, let's go back. So we have the JSON schema for our OpenAI structured output. Going back to N8N, I already created the 2 first nodes, which are pretty simple. So the first one is gonna be our trigger, watching a specific folder where every time when a file is created inside the folder, it's gonna trigger our automation. So let's test this out. As you see, we have already one file. And after that, we're gonna download this file using this ID, which is found in here. Let's test this out. And as you see, we are able to download the file. Our next step is gonna be an HTTP request to pass the data to LlamaParse. And here, let's jump to the LlamaParse documentation. This is what we need when uploading a file and start parsing. We are going to use this URL, paste it in here. The method is going to be post, yes. And for the authentication, I'm going to use a generic credential type. go to header auth. As you see here, I already configured my authorization, but for you guys, it's pretty simple. So you go to the playground, Llama Cloud, go to API key, and you can generate a new key. Is found in here, as you can see, better, and then space your API key. We also need these headers as well. So authorization is done. We still need these two. So the first one is going to be accept in the headers. So send headers, name is accept. Sorry, gonna close this. Application / JSON. And another parameter, which is content type and multi-part form data. Just copy this in here. And we also need this body parameter. I'm gonna show you how to set this up. So go to body. We're gonna use for data and then use n8n binary file. The name is gonna be file, and the input data field name is gonna be data, which is referencing to this name, and we are good to go. It's that simple. Let's test this step, and as you see, we get back an ID with the status pending. And for production environments, we are going to need a wait module to wait few seconds before checking the status of the job. So here we gonna wait 30 seconds. We don't need it for these testing purposes, but I wanna create a workflow that is very close to a real world project. That's why we are using a wait module in here. We don't need to test this. So after waiting 30 seconds, we are going to make another request to the Llama Cloud API to check the status of the job, as I said. So go back to the documentation, and here we have the check the status of the parsing job. We are going to paste this part in here, and then let's wait 30 seconds. And what we need is passing the job ID in the URL. And of course, we need another authentication. It's gonna be the same. And we also need to pass this header as well. Let's copy it in here. Then application /JSON, and we are good to go. Let's test this out. Perfect. So we see here that the status is success. So the parsing is complete. Now we can make another HTTP request to fetch the content. So use this URL. The method is get as well. And we're gonna replace this placeholder with our actual ID. And authentication. And also the same parameter in the headers, accept, and application /JSON. Go back in here. Test. So perfect. You can see in here we have the whole marked content. This looks good. And to make this workflow closer to reality, let's put an if between to check if the status is success. So if the status is success, it's gonna move to the next node to grab the content. And if it still needs time, we are going to wait again, maybe 1 minute this time, so 60 seconds. And then retry the checking job status. Let's rename these requests. So the first one is upload PDF. This one is gonna be check drop status. And this one is get PDF content in MD format. Perfect. So now that we have the content format, we are going to use the OpenAI structured output feature in N8N, which is called information extractor. And as you can see in here, we're gonna pass the markdown in the text, and we're gonna define our custom schema type, which is defined below in here, and paste the JSON schema that we generated with ChatGPT. And we are also adding a system prompt, which is very simple. So you are an expert extraction algorithm. If you do not know the value of an attribute, you may omit the attribute's value. The text can contain one or many listing properties. Make sure you extract all of them. And now let's go back and add the model. In this case, OpenAI. Let's choose GPT-4o, and perfect. So now let's test this step. And you can see the model has successfully extracted all the data we need in here. Listings. So this is the first one, this is the second one, and we have 16 listings. Now it has become very easy to put this data in a database, as now all our data is structured. So we have the fields, names, we have the content, and yeah, I hope that you understand a bit how we solve the problem. So first we are parsing PDF and converting it to markdown format, and then leveraging the game-changing feature, in my opinion, of OpenAI, which is structured output. And you can use it with this simple node in N8N. Just give it the schema of the data you want to extract. And as an additional tip, for this example, we have only 8 pages of PDF, but let's assume you have 100 pages. What I would do in here is maybe add a piece of code just after downloading the file, and then you can split the PDF in batches. Let's say, for example, 10 pages at a time, upload them all to LlamaParse, and because we have the context window limitation for OpenAI, so GPT-4o, I think they have limitation of 32K. So if we have 100 pages PDF, it's not gonna all fit into the window. So I would split it into pages or batches, maybe 10 pages, and then loop through all batches or pages and extract all the data. And after that, we have a structured JSON that we can easily insert into any database. And that's what we are going to do next. Okay, so our last step is gonna be creating our database. So go to supabase.com and start your project. And then we're gonna create a new project. You can specify the name, and very important, the database password that we are going to use later, but I already created mine. Go back to the dashboard. We can go to my project, and here we have two options. Either we can create a new table and create manually all columns, but the better and easier way I found is to use this SQL editor. Let's go back to ChatGPT and then ask it to create a SQL query to generate a table for this data. And as you can see in here, we have the SQL query. Let's copy this, paste this in and hit, and let's name it listings, then hit run. So you see a success. When you go back to our database, our table editor, you can see our database is created with our columns. which is a bit faster than creating tables manually and defining the types, etc. Going back to N8N, we're gonna first split out the data that we got. So we're gonna split listings and test the step. So as you can see, we splitted the result into arrays. So we have each listing separated. And now it's gonna be very simple to insert all this into Supabase, create row, and then we will add every field. So let's select our database. And then here we're gonna select address and then put the address and do it for all fields. Original price is this one. Okay, so I mapped out all fields as you can see in here. And let's check our database, which is empty for now. And then let's test the whole workflow. And as you see, the workflow is now complete. Let's check our database. Let's refresh. And as you see here, we have all the data, all the listings, the prices, all the data that the client needed. And finally, guys, few tips I want to emphasize here at the end of the video. So really make sure before implementing such pipeline, which can be more complex than this, pretty simple example, is play around with the parameters on the Llama Cloud Playground, as I showed you, to find the optimal ones for your specific use case. And only after that, go ahead and build your workflow. The second point I want to emphasize is when the PDF is too large, let's say hundreds of pages, make sure to split it and loop through the pages. Otherwise, the data extraction isn't going to be reliable because you have the limitation of the context window. And finally, make sure to define a proper JSON schema. As I showed you, you can do it very easily with ChatGPT for extracting your data. If you find this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and keeps me motivated to create more content like this. I've got a lot more exciting content coming your way in the next few weeks, from building AI-powered workflows to automating complex business processes. We're going deep into practical applications that you can implement right away. Also, feel free to drop any questions or suggestions in the comments below. I read them all, and your feedback shapes these videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Let's keep building, scaling, and automating together.